Hello and welcome to the Q&R Code podcast.
Your favorite ASMR corner of the internet.
Did you get the mini burp?
No, but I heard the slurp.
My biggest problem with drinking carbonated beverages is that I don't have big belches like Elf, like Buddy the Elf, but I do have just little tiny, like a little come up that I have to let out of my system.
I'm very sensitive to drinking carbonated beverages in terms of feeling burpy after, but I can own that I have a burpy way about me. Maybe I should address right here, right now. This might make people mad, but I'm ready for Christmas season. I do have a bottle of local eggnog in the fridge. I do have next to me burning a balsam. I think that this candle was actually called cedar and sage or something. I don't know. Yeah. I forget what it was called, but it's basically the smell
Christmas
of it
tree
is a pine, yes, and I'm sorry, you haters that don't want to hear tell of Christmas time before the end of Black Friday weekend, but I don't know what to tell you that makes me filled with cheer. It's not just about the day of Christmas, it's about the overall holiday season vibes. Yes. It's baking, it's coziness, it's hot cocoa, it's blankets, and I like it. So, excuse me for having a hobby. It's not like I have Christmas decorations up. Come on.
No. We have our adorable little handmade painted paper bat garlands hanging in our houses. So we are very much celebrating the fall and spooky season. The thing about us is we can do both at once. We don't feel uncomfortable. We always give a little bit of time to just fall. It's not to say that Christmas isn't on the back of our minds, but we always give some time to fall. We always, we're giving pumpkin bread. I did buy in my last big Trader Joe's haul that I talked about the pumpkin sugar cookies that you can ready to bake that have the pumpkin in the middle. So we can celebrate that and start having our feelings of excitement for the holiday cheer. So some people aren't able to be so, multifaceted and be able
hold
to
space for all holidays.
Yeah, we can hold space for multiple holidays at once, and people then are like, oh, you're skipping Thanksgiving. No, we don't skip Thanksgiving. If you know anything about us, we do not skip Thanksgiving dinner. We celebrate the food, holiday, joy, cheer, fun, in all of the ways, for all of the seasons that makes our hearts sing. We're not skipping, I'm sorry. 25 days is not long enough for me to celebrate holiday time, Christmas time. I'm not waiting till after Thanksgiving. Waiting till after Halloween is the biggest compromise that I feel I can make of not necessarily when other people are around playing, a little Ariana Grande Christmas and chill in the house on the speakers when I want to. So I'm going to do that into Thanksgiving season and past Christmas season because I want to romanticize. Do not be a person that's oh, don't celebrate the holidays while you're depressed. I'm depressed and I'm trying to celebrate the things that bring me joy, so I just don't feel like it's careful what you're trying to wield to me, because I am doing the best I can to take care of my mental health. And for me, that's joy and cheer.
One of my friends is from Alaska, but specifically North Pole, Alaska, and I was like,
Whoa.
what? Are you kidding me when she told me that? And I, of course, asked, so is it Christmas themed year round? She was like, there's definitely some of that. We go very hard for the holidays. A lot of kids like send their letters into our post office, and we process a lot of Christmas mail and stuff. And I was like, that's awesome. Some people might get sick of that or have a Scroogey attitude, but I think that that would be so fun, and it makes me just want to watch the movie Klaus.
That's what I was just gonna say. I'm like,
Really?
literally, I am right now like, oh my gosh. This is only gonna be my
Such a
second holiday
good one.
season ever watching that movie.
It's so cute, and I love the Christmas movies. We, as you know, always want to watch The Holiday, and that is not inappropriate to watch at other times of the year, but I feel like I have to save it up because I know I want to see it with you. Oh, I just had a ping realizing that will have to be during Thanksgiving break, but that is just fine and lovely as well. And this is not related, but it made me think, oh, vacation time. And I'm reading this book right now that's called Joie. Is that how you pronounce the French word joy? Joie. It's the book you and I both have. I think they say joie. Don't speak French, so
The coffee table book.
yes. It's a coffee table book. And
I
it's
never
really cute.
looked at that title and thought joie one time.
Yeah, in my head I say Joey. But in any case, it's a good book, and it's called, like, the subtitle I think is A Parisian's Guide to Living the Good Life. And she said, I might get this slightly wrong, but I think it pretty much stuck in my brain, because there is a law in France that everyone is entitled to 5 weeks of paid leave vacation time a year, and if you work 35 hours per week or more, then you are entitled to up to 11 weeks a year of paid leave. Hello. Sign me up for that. That is what we deserve. And I'm like, 35 hours a week? That's not even considered a full-time work week in the States. And that is like, it makes you entitled for up to 11 weeks out of the 52 weeks a year of vacation. That seems extremely fair. We deserve that. Instate that law here. I'm not moving to France anytime soon, but I said to Brayden, this is as compelling a case I've ever heard to live there, because hello, everyone, it's like expected that you'll work at least 40 hours per week, and we only get 2 weeks a year of vacation.
I'm right there with you that I think Riley and I are Gen Zers. We also are on the cusp. We were born in 99. We fall into where some of the grown adults could be calling us Gen Z in the sense of, oh, in a lazy
it seems
generation.
like nobody wants to work these days.
Yes. That is the sentiment often told about Gen Z. And do I disagree? No, not necessarily. But obviously, there are many hard workers in our generation, and I think it's very fair to want to work hard in life at things outside of what's making you money. So I'm all about work ethic. I'm all about getting it done, seizing the day. A nod to France. Wait, like, c'est la vie? Is that? No. No, what's it? Fuck! It's called... Yeah, what's it?
Or you mean Carpe Diem?
Carpe Diem.
Shout out Latin.
Wait, so it's not French.
Correct.
Carpe Diem is not French. It is Latin.
Yes.
Okay.
C'est la vie
Humbled.
is French. And we also stand by that.
So anyway, my point being...
And you can't even get a good education in America.
I'm not gonna act like I have such standing and this knowledge that runs so deep of, just the world. I try. I really do. And
God forbid a girl's from a small town.
Yeah. And from America. Sorry. Yes, we unfortunately, fortunately in many ways, unfortunately in some, life was served on a silver platter in the sense, not to say that that's all Americans, but, very, very privileged where I do not have the same, some people, obviously Europeans, it's like, oh, they travel from country to country to country in the way that we travel state to state, so they maybe have a little more context for more than their country when it's so much more accessible to be a world traveler or travel your continent or whatever. So here is how I feel about life. I love the work hard, play hard. I don't think they're two opposite sides of the coin necessarily. I often think that work hard, play hard, it's really a circular, all-encompassing, because if you play hard, of course, part of that is being mad chillers, as we would know, and part of that is working hard at what you play at. Maybe it's been a little too long since the Q&R Code has heard what we think about hobbies, because Riley and I are very passionate about whether you want to say hobbies or passions in life, whatever makes your heart sing, and diving into those and practicing them and enjoying life through them. And an aspect of a lot of that is hard work, because you can either choose to do nothing or choose to do something. And I think that life is rich by working hard, playing hard, being a synergy, not a you have to clock this many of hours to be a good, hardworking person paying the bills. I think there should be the balance of my dream life is working hard to pay the bills in a way that doesn't take away from also being able to work hard at my play.
I have embraced the term hobby more recently because I said to Quinn a while ago, I feel like I've never had a hobby a day in my life because I just don't think of those things that feel like this term hobby. I've come around on it a little bit to redefine it for myself, but it kind of, to me, sounds like a diminishing word in a lot of ways of like, oh, that's just the throwaway thing that doesn't matter to do with spare time. And I'm like, no, the things that I do, like baking and cooking and gardening, that is the stuff of my life. That's what makes up my day, and that's what I'm choosing to do because it's fulfilling and enriching, and it's not just like something that you could cut out and that would be okay. And I feel like that kind of hobby sounds like, oh, that's just kind of your extra stuff, but your work is what you do. And I think maybe we're a little more aligned with the French mentality of work is part of your life to support yourself, and ideally you'll love what you do because you're gonna have to do it. So of course I think best case scenario is your work is something that you're also, if you're not, say it's not something you're fully passionate about, that's the main thing you want to pursue, that it's at least something that you feel good about doing in your days, but it's not something that takes precedence over the rest of my life, and it shouldn't be diminished in comparison to it. And that is so much from the American dream of like hustle till you get to the top, that then we have this culture that is like such an heavy emphasis on you that when people meet you, it's a very normal thing to first of all be like, what do you do? And the expectation is that's your job with an income. And I think what she says in this book about France is that would not occur to French people to, like, not only not occur to, but it's just like rude. You wouldn't first ask about someone's profession, because when you're getting to know someone, you want to know, like, what are your interests and what are the other things about you more so than your profession. It's not such a tied up thing in your identity. And I think that it's great if you have a job that you're passionate about, then yay, you get to check out off multiple boxes at once. When I was more in a floating period where I was between jobs and I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to pursue, that makes you feel so much more like listless, and I had to learn to really feel okay about appreciating the moment I was in instead of feeling shameful around it, which is not, to me, like, that shouldn't be how someone feels, because you can still live a fully valid life without a paycheck coming in, but it felt like, oh, this is, like, embarrassing.
Yeah, I think that work is, like, making money to support yourself. It's a thing we have to do, obviously, for most people, and a thing that, oh boy, can it bring about some big feelings, even if it's something you're passionate about. I am coming off of I don't even know if I want to say tail end. Yesterday was definitely a day that I was very in my feels about work, because it's easy for someone who is a hard worker and who truly cares about what they do and what they're, bringing to the table. It's easy to end up doing it more, to overcommit yourself and to burn yourself out. And I am really working through the identity that I have of being a very hardworking person, and letting myself be a very hardworking person without pushing it to an extreme that is hurting my quality of life in all the other senses. And it's a hard thing to navigate, especially, I would say, as a business owner or someone who controls their own schedule, and it's very much not the type of vibe of clock in at a certain time, clock out at a certain time. It can be so easy to things slip, your boundaries slip, your schedule just happens to, fit this person in here, even though I was supposed to be done by 6. I guess I'm taking someone at 7 as well. Like, those things can, they can slip and they can add up. And Riley and I are we talk a lot together about our dream lives, and it brings me so much joy. Like, thankfully, our current brings me so much joy as well as pain. And thinking about our future is such an exciting thing to me, that I really believe in the way that we are trying to design our lives and the decisions we're making around having the life we truly want. And I just am more and more, I'm really working on this, because in my heart, I don't care at all how much money I'm making, as long as it's enough to be able to provide for a safe life for my family, including all of my animals, being the type of person I want to be in terms of being, like, having the resources, being sustainable, working in a way too that just makes me happy. Like, I want to be able to spend $100 on pumpkins in the fall to support
Did not know you were gonna say pumpkins.
pumpkins to support my, not only is that exciting because I got them from a local place that, grew these pumpkins, and I'm helping support that, and it makes me very happy to walk home every day in the fall and I have a beautiful assortment of pumpkins. So I am not saying, oh, I want to scrape by. No, of course, like money matters because I like nice things. I like horses. Money matters. But
like nice things. Horses.
Horse
accessories.
Yeah. And a cute little farmhouse. So, but I don't know. I have this vision for my life that only so many hours of the day can be clocked in a way that you are making making money by in a physical place or whatever. I think that is why influencing has become as popular as it has, because you are getting the privilege of living your life, and that's really what you're being paid for. Of course, then you're really like a photographer, videographer, and you're an editor, and you are a social media manager or an advertiser, like those. But it's a really special thing to be able to do what you want to do in your day, and what you want to do in your day is the thing you're being paid for.
Yeah.
I'll stop there because I could ramble on forever.
I think it's not the case that Gen Z wants to work less than any other generation. I think that a lot of our friends and peers are really passionate about something that they would want to work towards, but I think we're tending to be more woke to the reality that the majority of people are tied into jobs that your hourly wage will like never be enough to sustain your current life and build wealth for your future, while the upper echelons, the 1%, but also just other, like, I don't know if everyone that's included in the wealth gap disparity would necessarily be considered the 1%ers, but there's the select few that we work on behalf of that have just such giant leaps and bounds more money and resources. And I think that more people are feeling like, well, also this isn't only our generation. These ideas have been around for a long time. However, it's like reached a fever pitch in terms of nobody before has had hundreds of billions of dollars. And so when you see that, then you feel like, so why am I going to accept $7.50 an hour, the minimum wage in Wyoming still, for that's not enough for my rent and my groceries and to have insurance. Like, this isn't enough for my basic needs being met, while this head of this corporation has multiple super yachts. Like, I think that it's just feeling fed up with that. And I don't know how things are going to pan out, especially in this AI era. And I don't like to feel nihilistic, but it's understandable that we would feel like, okay, so what the hell are we supposed to do? Like, we need to feed ourselves, we need healthcare, we need these things, but then our jobs are treated as disposable, and
or we can't get hired. Like, or you can't there are so many people with sufficient educations for the job that they're trying to enter into and just can't get hired, and are spending months or years looking for a job with the education that they got and what they want to be doing. Yeah. So it's not even the lack of wanting to, it's the lack of being given an opportunity even when you're trying very hard for it.
I have so many friends that are so smart, capable, college grads, maybe have even
motivated,
been in grad school, that have been, especially since the pandemic, like applying, and you can't get a role in your field, and you can maybe go out and find another job. We do spend so much of our lives working, so it's complicated. Long story short, this book about France is really making me feel like, okay, I connect a lot more to this cultural viewpoint than what's going on in America, but I don't want to be an expat unless Quinn wants to come with me, in which case that's fine. We will go. And I just want to continue like building up a community of people around me that feel like they're on the same page and want to take those other moments in life seriously. Like, I think that your free time deserves to be taken as seriously as your work time, if not more so. Like, those are the moments in your life that really look back on and count, at least to me. There are maybe occasional days and moments at work where I have felt like, wow, that was extremely gratifying, or that was a beautiful interaction. But when I'm reminiscing, usually those moments aren't the top of mind things that have felt like real soul connect moments in my life. And I am grateful that I have the level of job security that I have. I know that that's a privilege, and Quinn and I always like to acknowledge that, but you're still allowed to find room for improvement in that system. Next topic.
Lily and I want to get a little bit into Denver Love is Blind.
Okay, yes. First things first. I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to keep watching Love is Blind, because it just has, the last season especially, was so not compelling to me. I can't even really remember what happened. I remember there was a lot of religious conversation, and I
feel like I particularly remember it because of that. Because I was so like, this is not my world at all.
Yes, it felt very different to watch, but they spent so long in the pods. Quinn and I were literally like, oh my god,
so
we
many
don't
episodes.
care. Like, yeah, maybe these are extremely meaningful conversations for the people on the show. They always express that is a very connective time for them, but as an audience, it is not very interesting generally. You want to see that
so
interpersonal conversations. And then Quinn was like, okay, but this season's in Denver. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch. Obviously, I want to see what's going on with the Denver cast.
Yeah. Well, this is the city of anywhere that we definitely have the most context for, because one of us has lived near the city. So I don't think it's ever been near a city either of us have lived before. Did they do Washington, D.C.? But obviously still, it's not like you live in Washington, D.C. You've now visited a couple times. But I was excited, being like, please be someone I know or at least have a connection to. I don't know anyone or have a connection to anyone, but a friend knows Annie because they are in the cosmetology space together. There's, she's a hair salon owner. So anyway, I haven't even got the scoop on what she thinks of her. So really, I have no tea. I have nothing. Well, my client yesterday, who I tattooed, her husband went to school with high school. They went to high school, with one of the guys. What was his name? I recalled it. Was it not?
Was Kyle? He someone that was like in the pods but didn't
engaged? He was in the pods, and then he ended up, after Anna left, Blake is his name. Blake left, seemed like a super sweet, nice guy, which according to my client, he is a super, super sweet, good, nice guy, and like super loved. So anyway, those are my two tiny connections.
Yeah, I think that with the situation with Blake, he left, and I think like he didn't tell someone that he was going, but that being said, I just don't know how much of an opportunity production gives them to say, so I wasn't that judgmental. I know some people are like, I can't believe they would ghost them in the pods. I'm like, I have a feeling that if you want to go, the production probably adds that in as part of the whole. They're not like, oh, would you like me to organize a date so you can let your connection know you won't be there? I'm sure that they relish the opportunity to set up a date and have someone get ghosted, so I didn't blame him for that. I did feel sad though about the Patrick Anna situation where she left, because I did think that they had a cute connection going on. It seemed like it was a healing sort of come together for both of them to feel not only seen but also like admired by another. They both had felt so less than as immigrants, and I thought that that was cute and heading in a promising direction, much more promising than where Patrick ended up. So sorry about how that went for him, because I think that it kind of was his worst fears come to life in a lot of ways of not
someone then
desired.
seeing him and choosing because of his appearance that it wasn't for him. Oh gosh, watching that Casey breakup, you can't even call it a breakup scene, but like, oh, why wasn't
she just like, yeah, you know what, I really apologize because I know this is going to be hurtful no matter what happens, but I don't think that we should be engaged right now, instead of just being like, no, like that, blah, 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 like making out with him,
just
and
being
whatever,
so confused.
Like, yeah, why? And maybe I will give her grace to say maybe that she was feeling like maybe I am having a change of heart, but then to never like contact him in Denver or anything, I'm like, girl, you knew. I wish that she would have just cut the cord when she knew that's how she was feeling, even though his feelings were hurt. But I will, this is no, not specific shade to Patrick, because he's Lord knows not the only boy that has done this, but not the let's go 6 times after she says yes on the engagement. If you need to give yourself one, fine, still not my preference, but give yourself the one to let yourself have it.
I genuinely like, it would be the shame and ick of my life if after I had said yes to Sean, if he said let's go at all in the conversation eminently after, or hopefully even fucking day of, or at all. No, to me, the let's go has got to stop. And how many seasons of Love is Blind, because it's been the past, I would have to say 3 seasons at least, that after so many of the proposals, 1, 2, 3 let's goes from the man.
Let's just remember, boys, there's something called code switching. So when you're in a certain situation, you kind of modulate your language and behavior to be appropriate for that situation. When you're on the basketball court with your friends, that's a great time to be jumping off your seat and being like, oh, let's go, and having that energy. When you're proposing,
that's why I don't like
woman,
sports.
That's not the same energy, and there's a way to express excitement without also being such broy, not for us. Clearly it's not for us. Maybe there are girls that think it's hot that I haven't talked to yet.
Yeah. I don't know of them, but I believe that on the last season, I think it was with Joey, and what was her name? Was her name Madison or something?
I have no recollection of last season.
Okay. Well, I believe that I think there was one girl that gave a let's go after him, but that's like the only time it's happened. So anyway, please, I just hope that that term goes out of fashion sooner than later. The men are getting too excited. Too excited. So, Mexico. Joe. No. Not good. Immediately. Maybe I'm thinking this because it's Joe and Madison this season, so I don't know. Anyway. I was very worried very quickly about their relationship. I don't think we need to dissect and go into, each thing, each relationship whatsoever, but that's a moment that stands out to me. Very, very weird with the overconsumption of alcohol and then just so much to Madison in that conversation being like, what are you talking about? And she's just like, you're being crazy. And I agree with her at that point. It does make me sad because I feel like you've got to just be in such a way, just going through such a crazy experience, because I wish that I could have told Madison. I don't think this is going anywhere.
No.
He felt that way for so long.
I just don't think he's ready for marriage or into her like that. We'll see what happens at the altar, but also we'll acknowledge that this is coming out after more episodes will have released, so we're slightly behind, but we're still allowed to have an opinion, okay?
Who I'm very surprisingly most excited about this season that I don't know, I didn't think during the pods it would be, but is Jordan and Megan. They're who I'm most excited about.
They're cute. They might actually get married.
That's how it's seeming.
Yes. I just feel like so many of the problems that come up on this show are from having important or like serious conversations with drinking involved. And I think that might be reflective of how a lot of people operate in relationships, and it just seems foreign to me because that's never been the case in our relationship. But in 10 years of being together, Brayden and I have only a handful, and when I say a handful, smaller than 5 times, been like actually drunk and truly, not able to have like a normal sober conversation with each other. That's just not heavy drinkers. And let me tell you, the like most frustrated I have been with him is when he has had too much to drink. Maybe that's not the most frustrated. That's a little it dramatic,
stands out
but
as
it's
frustrating.
Certainly like
definitely
I could not have a good conversation with him because I'm already annoyed, because when people are drunk they are impossible and are so annoying to deal with, even if they're being like sweet and friendly and not being belligerent and annoying. Like, just I think at a baseline it's so annoying when somebody's drunk. So I'm like, why are all of these conversations happening while people are clearly drunk? Like, at these gatherings,
the culture in America
again.
That's the celebration thing.
But
yeah, if you're celebrating in so many places here, it means there's drinking involved, which Anton, the first sign of that with Anton had to be when they left, having met each other, their first looks. Instead of him looking back, waving at her, he's going in for another glass of champagne.
Yeah, that was crazy that she's like standing there looking and he's not waiting until the doors close because he wants to keep looking at her. I'm like, she's gorge, you're crazy. But also they kind of like, they mentioned that, I think it was Allie that mentioned how Denver has like such a strong party scene, and I thought, oh, I guess that makes sense. It's so funny because again, you and I are so outside of that, but like mountain towns are kind of notorious for having a drinking problem. But that to me would be immediately, like, if you're only together for a few weeks and somebody has been getting like drunk multiple times in that period of time, that's not a compatible fit for me. And I'm not saying that should be the standard for everyone. However, if during like my feeling is like, if you can't be extremely present for this experience for these literally like 3 weeks that you have back home to get to know each other before you get married legally, I just don't understand how you can be ready for marriage. Like, I think you should be able to be taking that precious amount of time and those days seriously enough to be like, let's have some sober conversation. Let's really talk about this. And so often I have just felt on the show, I don't know, it's a show, but it is these real people's lives, and I feel like if you're wanting to lead up until marriage, it deserves some pretty serious consideration. Should you be having fun? Yes, but a lot of the times, and not even necessarily on this season, but just in general, people will be like, well, they're having an argument because they're like, you were out with your friends till 3 in the morning, and they're like, aren't I allowed to have fun with my friends? And it's like, okay, yes, you're allowed
During
to have nights
the duration
like
of
that
this
with your
experiment,
friends, but yeah, for right now, no. Like, sorry, no.
in the next 2 to 3 weeks,
can't you
like,
hold off for now?
Another fun thing is that out of the, I believe, 4 restaurants that we saw meetings happen in, I knew 3 of them and was like,
oh, really?
That's fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you
so
notice
that you
in
are
particular what?
I was gonna say I clocked L5,
Yeah.
which is one of my favorite spots in Denver. It's so tasty and delicious, but it's not like I've been to a ton of spots in Denver, so I didn't
But do you
recognize the
remember
other ones.
Remember Linger, right? That I've told you about. It's literally
Yeah,
right
you
around the
told me
corner,
about
and it's
Linger.
the
Isn't
same
it the
owners.
same? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't recognize it because I hadn't been there, but yes, I know the name. And what's the other one?
My Neighbor Felix, there's a few
Oh.
of those in Denver, and people really, really like it.
Yes, again. So now that I've heard the names, I do recognize all of those, but I didn't like clock them just by looking.
I was like, that's fun. I know the restaurants. Like, that is, at least it gave me something that I was like, thank goodness I knew the restaurants they were going to. So there's just a little something that makes me feel like I know what the hell is going on here with the Denver people. But all in all, from my friends and people, clients, etc., that are in the dating pool in Denver, I hear it's a particularly rough city to date in, and that people find the men very challenging and snaky and overall not of the highest caliber. So that's scary.
Dang it.
And
Dang
unfortunate.
it, and I'm sorry for those who are seeking. Everyone always talks about like how horrible it is to date and how wretched all the choices are, so it doesn't really tickle my curiosity that much. But that being said,
well, because we're in such happy relationships that even, of course, there's hard work and we love our lives with them so much that it's like, no, I'm pretty happy with the decision I made. I'm so glad. Thank goodness it worked out like that, because for the people that are 1 or 2 years in and are like, oh, I really, really didn't make the right choice, I feel for that.
Yeah. In other TV news, I don't want to spoil it for Quinn because she's not caught up with Dancing with the Stars. And there is going to be another episode. So again, guys, we're recording a little early to make sure we get you your episodes even while we travel, but there'll be some more Dancing with the Stars before then. But I just wanted to acknowledge Dedication Night because it was very moving and really sweet. It did make me cry multiple times. That being said, I will cry in a normal night on Dancing with the Stars. Dancing with the Stars is such an emotional show for me just because I know that performing is so vulnerable, and I think, takes a lot of bravery is kind of a dramatic word for it, but it is brave to go out and to like be really earnest, and dancing has clearly meant a lot to Quinn and I in our lives, and the connection of the show that we have with our grandma. I will get moved watching the show very easily, but dedication night is specifically emotional, and Robert Irwin, again, our hero.
I love.
Such an, so
Fave
great
celebrity.
that they got him on this season. 100%, and he dedicated it to his mom, which I thought was so sweet, because I kind of assumed, like probably a lot of people did, that he would dedicate it to his dad, and he did talk about his dad and about like what that was like losing him, but he was like, my mom was a single mom from really early on raising us, and she to me is like the strongest person in the world, and she's my hero, and has carried on her
Chills.
And my dad's like, I know, he's
Actually.
like, she made sure to like carry on my dad's legacy that they built together, and it was so sweet. And he did a contemporary dance and was, I thought, phenomenal. So good. Also, another one that really stood out to me was Dylan Efron's dance was with his little sister, which was so sweet. And it was also to Rewrite the Stars by Zach, so
Aww.
he was like doing a nod to his brother as well. But his little sister was so sweet. What did she say? I forget exactly, but she was like, Dylan is my best friend, and every time we're together is the best day ever. And I was like, are you kidding me? She's 5, I think. But she was not shy out there at all. She was so confident. I'm like, no, yeah, you come from a family of performers. She had a presence out there too. I'm like, okay, girl, I love it. But
That's
it was
sweet.
Really sweet too. And everyone's dance was, meaningful. They put a lot of their hearts into it on dedication night, but I really enjoyed the episode. And can I just spoil this for you? This isn't really a spoiler because
Okay.
nobody got eliminated. They were like, we're not going to send anyone home. Tonight was too heartwarming, and we'll just accumulate the scores.
Nice.
From this week and next week's, like they'll all contribute, so your score still matters. But I thought that was lovely that nobody had to be sent home, because also that feels bad. Imagine you're like the dad that came and danced with your daughter and she goes home that night. That is kind of rough stuff.
Yes, it is.
And I'm a softie for competition
that
shows up never like someone being sent home.
Yeah, it's not fun to watch people being eliminated. That's how I feel. Food is on my mind big time, because partway through you talking, I couldn't get the image of shrimp cocktail out of my mind, which is...
That for Quinn is absolutely out of pocket wild. I want you guys to know.
I'm hungry. And then I'm like, okay, wait, lost a train of thought. 0. Quinn, get it back.
I'm just picturing little shrimpies.
I'm picturing shrimp, and wait, what's the last thing you said? Being sent home. Oh, barbecue showdown. I am thinking of barbecue showdown.
I guess you were going to say Great British Baking Show, because there's a current season happening right now.
I have never watched any, literally, of it. Like, I've seen when Mom and Dad have had it on. I've seen a little bit. The only one I've ever watched is the kids one. I've seen
the kids one
2
is
seasons
excellent.
Of the kids one, but I haven't watched any of.
The kids one is excellent, and I've only seen 1 season, but that was a show where I genuinely was like, why are we sending kids home? Why isn't it just like everyone participates for several weeks?
That is so annoying. Sending the kids home, I was like, me watching this adorable little kid have to wipe tears from under their glasses. Why
No.
torture us. And then
just let them all do the whatever it is, like 10 weeks of baking,
and you'll still have a winner.
And yeah, and
So,
and you can
hard
totally
enough.
still have a winner of like there, because sure, if we have to be cutthroat about it, but I don't like it when any of them leave.
The sending home is rough. Anywho,
but that is shocking to me, Quinn, that even just like from our time spent at home that you haven't ended up seeing like a full season of Great British Bake Off.
I know.
Dad loves
I want
that
to
show.
watch it. I want to watch it though. I have many wants to watch in my eyes and the horizons, because I'm someone who does like movies and TV shows, and that doesn't make you a not hard worker. But I am not having the time because of my overcommitting myself to really just sit back and watch. So any of the time that I'm watching any of this stuff is also while I'm designing and drawing for my appointments or while I'm doing the dishes or something like that. And I try to not get in the habit of doing that too much back to back, because that can make it feel like you're not really present in life. So I want to be watching Gilmore Girls. That's honestly, I'm still in the fall mode where that is really fun and hitting for me right now. And obviously I'm wanting to watch RuPaul, so I don't know. It's not all happening at once, but it's fun that there's fun stuff on.
I can't wait to watch oh my gosh, I completely forgot which.
Were you gonna say Wicked too?
Well, I can't wait to watch Wicked 2. We're gonna have to wait a little bit for that, but yeah, sure, that's what I was gonna say, even though it wasn't. The other day on the way to work, I was listening to the Wicked soundtrack. I work in like a bigger room that has crazy acoustics, and like, if you sing in there, it's loud, and
Riley knows.
Riley's
singing in there.
I was singing in the morning, and then I realized the walls, we like work on a block of other businesses, and you can hear people chatting all the time, and I'm like, oh, even though I'm alone in this room, everyone in the other businesses is like, shut up, bitch. Like, we don't want to hear you sing Defying Gravity at 10 in the morning. I'm like, oh. So I did have to reel myself in.
Also,
on
just
that
singing
one.
Such a hard song. Riley's like,
seriously. Quinn and I will have to let you guys know if we go to a show in New York, because that's something we've always wanted to do since we were little girls. Of course, being little dancing theater girls that love musicals, love shows, I've always wanted to see something on Broadway and never have. But I know our time is gonna fly. We're in the city, so we're not exactly sure yet if that's on the docket, but both of us are really, really hoping and trying to. So I hope we get to report back about that.
Me too. I honestly can't wait for our New York, Charlottesville fall roundup, where we'll give you guys all the info on the fun that we had. And it's just, we're about to see each other in person literally a week from the moment we are recording this. So anyway, we've got to go. We've got busy days ahead. We've got a lot to get done until then. Happy Tuesday, and we will talk to you in a week. Bye.
Goodbye.